Good afternoon. This is your Quays News at 4:15. I'm Jasmine Gadsden.
And I'm Mariana Diaz. On the programme today.
I'm here today at Kersaldale Wetlands in Salford, where just behind me a man's torso was discovered.
This April is Stress Awareness Month, a campaign designed to reduce stigma that surrounds stress and mental health.
You know, if you think about you're driving a car, somebody pulls out in front of you, you slam on the brakes, you don't think about that. That's your body reacting, but you'll find your stress goes up.
MPs are back in Westminster. I'll have the latest from a turbulent week in politics.
But first, Leo Christian joins us live with updates on a human torso that was found in Salford a few weeks ago. New developments have arisen in a shocking case that saw a man's torso found in Salford Nature Reserve. Our reporter, Leo Christian, is there at the scene with the latest. What can you tell us, Leo?
Yes, thank you guys. I'm here at Kersaldale Wetlands Reserve and National Park, where just behind me a man's torso was discovered in a plastic bag, inside of which containing his lower back, upper thigh and buttock. He's estimated to be over 40 years old but is still unidentified. Even more worryingly so, police estimate that children were playing in and around the area that I'm standing in right now, which begs a question: not only were they playing next to the body, but what if they found it? What emotional scars would that have left on the children going forward into their lives? Police are appealing for anybody who is in the local area on the 4th of April to come forward, as this investigation is still ongoing.
Is there any police activity there, Leo?
Currently, there is no police activity at the scene and also no scientific investigations, but there is definitely an eerie sense about the day. There's fly tipping and litter everywhere. Fly tipping is a problem that's absolutely rife within Salford, and it's clearly evident here. Begs the question, is that the reason that a man's torso could not be found within these simple walkways? The people I've been speaking to today say that it has tarnished the reputation of this once beautiful nature reserve, and people have been getting in touch with me on @Quays TV on Twitter and Instagram saying that they will no longer walk their dogs here ever again.
Have there been any further advancements with the case?
Well, yes, just 2 days after the body was found, a man was arrested, a 20-year-old man from Salford. He was since released on bail after being firstly arrested on suspicion of murder. And most importantly, guys, no further body parts have been found, so this investigation is still at large.
Thanks, Leo. You can keep up to date with any development on @Quays News on all social platforms.
If you have ever fallen victim to ticket scamming on Facebook, well, you are not the only one.
And with summer approaching, there is a rise in scams. Our reporter Sarah Saunders has more.
With festival season fast approaching, events such as Park Life and concerts like Harry Styles and Take That, music lovers are desperate to see their favourite artist perform. However, in some cases, through the purchase of fake tickets, they have turned out to be victims of a scam.
I wanted to purchase 3 tickets for myself and my 2 daughters to go and see Harry Styles in Glasgow. It was for Christmas, and what had happened was I looked online everywhere, I couldn't find any tickets, and eventually this person was selling them on Facebook. So I purchased them, paid all the money, and then we went online and booked our flights. So we flew across, really excited, the whole family, couldn't wait, turned up, and it turns out that they were fake. I was so angry about it, I wasted so much money, I was so frustrated, the girls were devastated, they were crying, and I don't know who else to turn to.
Alisa Percy, ticket manager at the AO Arena, sees around 80 fake tickets at every event.
Like I said, every show, even family shows where it's Disney on Ice and the likes of that, were turning people away with fake tickets, and they've spent hundreds and thousands of pounds. You do empathise with them slightly, because how do you explain to someone they've spent £500 on their favourite artist and they're not actually going to get in to see them?
Just to show how many scammers there is out there, I put it to the test by creating a post on Facebook asking for tickets to a fake concert that didn't exist in a location where the artist wasn't performing. Despite this, I still got over 200 comments from people claiming to be selling tickets to the made-up event. Guidance from Good Housekeeping states that when buying from sellers online, look at users' profiles to see when they have been set up and how many followers the seller has. While there are legitimate sellers on online platforms, more often than not, they are not a trusted source.
It's just double checking everything. You're spending a lot of money on tickets. Mate, like, you wouldn't, buy a car without checking the company first.
Sarah Saunders, Quays News, Salford.
The MP for Fylde, Mark Menzies, has been suspended after allegedly misusing campaign funds. Emma Beggan is here to give us the latest on this story and all the news-making political headlines.
Conservative MP Mark Menzies has been suspended after allegedly misusing campaign funds. According to The Times, Mr Menzies called his former campaign manager and asked for £5,000, stating he was locked in a flat and it was a matter of life and death. The Fylde MP strongly disputes the claims, but has had the whip removed amid allegations he misused party funds. The Times also reports Mr Menzies allegedly used a total of £14,000 from campaign funds to pay his personal medical bills. Keir Starmer has today called for a police investigation into the claims. In a statement about the allegations, first reported by The Times, Menzies said he strongly disputes the allegations, stating, "I have fully complied with all the rules for declarations." Sir Keir Starmer has accused Rishi Sunak of smearing a working-class woman after the Prime Minister made a jibe about Angela Rayner's tax affairs. The Ashton-under-Lyne MP is being investigated by police after claims she should have paid tax on profits of her house sales. Here's what was said at PMQs.
Well, Mr. Speaker, all I'd say is he ought to spend a bit less time reading that book and a bit more time reading the Deputy Leader's tax advice.
We've got a billionaire Prime Minister and a billionaire Prime Minister, both of whose families have used schemes to avoid millions of pounds of tax, smearing a working-class woman.
Now, Rishi Sunak's Rwanda bill has been delayed yet again as the Lords refuse to budge over scrutiny of refugees in East Africa and the rights of Afghans. The bill will be sent back to the Commons to be re-examined on Monday. The move prompted backlash from Home Secretary James Cleverly, who blamed Labour for the blockage. He claimed they're terrified that the Rwanda scheme will work and they will use any excuse to stop it. Shadow Immigration Minister Stephen Kinnock said the Rwanda scheme is doomed to fail. And MPs have voted to support Rishi Sunak's bill to ban the sale of tobacco products to anyone born after the 1st of January 2009. Labour backed the bill, but there was opposition from within the Cabinet. Former Prime Minister Liz Truss, former Business Secretary Jacob Rees-Mogg and former Home Secretary Suella Braverman all voted against the bill. The Prime Minister wants to raise the legal age to buy tobacco products in the hope to create what he called a smoke-free generation. The bill will now go to the House of Lords and would effectively raise the legal age of smoking every year.
Thanks, Emma. We can expect plenty more politics news in the next coming weeks, with local elections just around the corner on the 2nd of May.
It can all get a little too much sometimes. It's Stress Awareness Month and our reporter Millie Short has gone to find out a little more about this very common feeling.
1 in 14 UK adults are stressed out every day. This April is Stress Awareness Month and I've gone out to see what stresses the people of Manchester.
Sometimes work stresses me out.
Probably like uni work, staying on deadlines, things like that.
Probably not being on time, so like if I'm like late for something or not, like I have to basically schedule my time in, or when I've got like things that I need to do, I have to make a list, and that really like calms me down.
The campaign is designed to raise awareness about both the contributory factors and the solutions, as well as to reduce the stigma that surrounds stress and mental health. Research from mental health foundations say we are a rather stressed out country, with nearly a third of us feeling stressed. But is stress all bad? I've gone to a professional to find out more.
We need stress, and it's actually, it's an evolutionary physiological response to stimulus. So stress will keep you safe, for a start, in a very short-term way. If you think about you're driving a car, somebody pulls out in front of you, you slam on the brakes, you don't think about that. That's your body reacting, but you'll find your stress goes up. And so in that way, it can help us.
Where does stress show up in everyday life?
I think if you're thinking in a professional context, which a lot of people would, I'd say, with stress, because work-related stress is one of the biggest reasons we see absence across professions and across employers.
There is a lot of stress around young people at school, with the three main reasons surrounding pressures of the future, education significance, and post-pandemic life. I was curious to know how people deal with this stress.
And when you are in stressful situations or life's not going anywhere, how do you cope with that? I just take 2 minutes, sit down and just kind of like take a breath and then just carry on. Normally having a cup of tea normally helps.
It's really basic, but like having like you time, like going for like a walk, like doing stuff that you enjoy, getting out for sure. Yeah. Like, I have to get out.
So with work, I think they give you a little bit of time off. They can say that, look, they can just sit down for 5 minutes, and that's what I do. But with uni work, sometimes you're just not able to deal with the stress, so I just don't turn up.
This is Millie Short reporting, Quays News.
And finally, Manchester City were knocked out of the Champions League last night after being beaten by Real Madrid. Our reporter Ellie Watt is live now at the Etihad Stadium. Ellie, can you tell us more?
Manchester City are out of the Champions League after Real Madrid beat the reigning title holders 4-3 in Wednesday's quarter-final second leg. Bernardo Silva and Mateo Kovacic both missed spot kicks for City here at the Etihad Stadium. Silva's attempt was deemed by some fans as the worst penalty they'd ever seen. Ferdinand and Lescott believed City fans behind the goal were to blame for the botched effort, holding the ball which delayed the penalty.
The ball is in the crowd, and they've been shamed into giving it back.
Yeah, but all the time, Bernardo Silva has to stand there and think about it. Manchester City are out of the Champions League.
Rodrigo had given Real an early lead in the second leg just behind me here at the Etihad Stadium. But City otherwise dominated, and after creating a host of chances, finally made it 1-1 on the night through Kevin De Bruyne in the 76th minute. De Bruyne spurned a good chance to win the tie in normal time, and Erling Haaland had earlier hit the crossbar, but it was the competition's record 14-time winners who ultimately prevailed. City boss Guardiola was philosophical about the defeat for his side, but couldn't avoid the fact he felt the tie should have been settled before the shootout, given the number of chances the team created.
We did everything. I don't have absolutely any regret about what we have done. So always we try as a managers, and so create more and concede less in every single game, because we believe that that helps to be close to win, and we did everything, so defensively, offensively.
But Man City looked to bounce back, playing against Chelsea in the FA Cup semi-finals on Saturday.
That's all for today. Make sure you follow @Quays News on social media to get involved with all our shows. Have a wonderful evening. Goodbye.
Goodbye.